Throughout the time in the Mafia, I was involved in 3 Mafia wars. I was involved in 19 murders. I did 22 years of my life in prison. I became the underboss of the most powerful organized crime family in the country at that time. And I became a more or less a professional hitman.
Did you want to be that?
No. I just seemed to be good at it.
In the 70s and 80s, Salvatore Gravano was rising in the ranks of the Mafia in the Gambino family. He was and is known around the world as Sammy the Bull and part of the inner workings of New York Mafia. Several decades earlier, another New York mobster found himself driving through a tiny desert town in Nevada, Bugsy Siegel.
Bugsy Siegel was on the lam. He went into a small town, and they were gambling. He saw the sheriff coming. He said, "You're going to get arrested. You're gambling." And they told him they passed a law that there it was legal. Gambling was legal there. And that just woke him up an idea.
Taking a gamble on you.
So began the rise of Las Vegas as we know it, when Bugsy Siegel built the first major casino resort, the Flamingo, followed by big casinos and resorts popping up left and right.
It was completely mob controlled. They built it. He was going out with a beautiful movie star, and she made arrangements to bring in people in theater and stuff, and they put on shows, and it exploded.
Was it easy to launder money through these casinos?
Oh yeah. They didn't even know what it was, so they were always skimming money right off the top. They really didn't know what the hell was going on, especially they were controlling everything.
Would power from the casino, the Mafia, could they do other business dealings and launder money elsewhere? Was that a goal of theirs?
The Mafia is like an octopus. We have tentacles. We go into everything. Unions, construction, garbage, bread, making clothes.
Everything, like, let's say, a printing business, the one in Phoenix, owned by Pat Redmond and Ron Lukasik. The two had been approached by Robert Cruz, who was not only affiliated with the Chicago Mafia, but was brokering mob deals in Vegas, attempting to become a certified gang member, a made man.
He made some connections with a casino that he would launder their money through a printing business. And that printing business was owned by Pat Redmond and Ron Lukasik. So Cruz approached them, the two owners, and Pat Redmond said, "No, I'm not going to sell. I like my business, no." Ron Lukasik apparently said, "I'd be open to listening to it." Pat Redmond was a problem.
Robert Cruz used his connections.
Robert Cruz made the call to Chicago to get the two killers, Billy Bracy and Murray Hooper, to come to Phoenix.
There was a reason Cruz wanted members of the royal family street gang to carry out the killings.
Because they felt if they used Afro-American offenders, they wouldn't be linked back to the Mafia, which is who was really behind this, the mob in Chicago.
How much were they making off these hits?
What I was told by this guy who was in the car, drove him, that he had received $50,000 as the remainder of their contract fee, which in 1980 was quite a bit of money.
What was the motive for McCall to go from a Phoenix police officer to now an assailant in this execution-style murder?
It was money. This was a paid hit, and it was all about money.
And who had money at the time? The mob.
We're in everything. You name it, and we spread all over the place. And we find ways. We're very creative people. Money, connections, power, and greed. All of those things control everything, all the time. All the time.
The bombshell moment that would change trials in 2 different states, the lone survivor herself.
And the judge says, Mr. Brownlee, do you have any more witnesses? I said, yes, one. We call Marilyn Redmond to the stand.
Whew. I mean, I get chills just thinking about it right now from all those years ago.
But just when you think you know this case,
We don't know who did the deed, but that was the end of Bobby Cruz.
you don't.
Joyce Lukasik is charged with ordering the 1980 execution-style slayings of Patrick Redmond and his mother-in-law, Helen Phelps. Prosecutors claim Lukasik ordered the murders because Redmond, who was a business partner of her husband, Ron Lukasik, turned down a business deal worth millions.